Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to the Chupacabra Tutorials channel. I'm your host Larry, and last time we talked about some of the new crafting materials that might be coming to Subnautica 2, including things like this is nickel, and then we've got some random tar sludge ooze over here that kind of glows blue, and then we've got like this ferrofluid crystal, we've got Fordite, which I don't think is the final name for that bad boy right there. And this is supposed to be some diamond and some gateway crystals. I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a pretty large update with a new zone that's going to focus a lot on mining different larger resources, because in the previous game, you had to wait until the end of the game before you could mine large deposits. Whereas in this game, they give you the improved mining tool right off the bat to just blast things. So it stands to reason I gotta keep going with harder and thicker veins of ore in order to give us more of a challenge to mine them with. And so why do I say that? Well, if we go down over here, so down over here I have a little bit of a test bed area where I was testing out different configurations using the mining systems that we have in the game. So right now, we have the ability to pull existing metals that we already have samples of out of the water very slowly using the metal farms. And for a lot of the early game ores, this is great. This works fantastically. And then when they start to get longer and more expensive to pull stuff out of the water, like troilite requires like 20 plus minutes. And then the thing that we saw inside the game files to date are we have these new Altera automated mining platforms, and right now there's a version in the game that mines for titanium, and there's a version in the game that mines for copper. And I would argue that probably what we're going to see coming up, much like how we had to repair this massive device in order to turn it on and activate the observatory, we might have to repair other pieces of alien technology in order to continue our investigation and our quest to figure out what's going on this crazy planet. And so with that in mind, I've also been paying attention to a lot of what the community is saying. And one of the things that a lot of people have been discussing is that there might be more of an involved purpose for the Trident Submarine than just exploring. And I kind of guessed a little bit at that. I think mine's still parked over here. That there is a tractor beam inside of the Trident that is going to possibly be used to do one of two things. So if we pop inside right here, I'm just going to be careful not to dock. If I do, I'll get stuck. One of the things that you can do with this tractor beam is obviously move stuff, where I've got a little mining units just built over here, and ideally, I think this thing can do one of two things. I think you can probably tractor beam around different types of equipment to move it, like being able to tow these mining platforms around and relocate them when they need to be moved between different nodes and different types of materials to mine. And the other thing I think might be useful is that these things also might be used as a repulsion beam or blaster, kind of like our gun here, in order to force large leviathans, krakens, whatever, in order to leave you alone. So that's like one theory. And then the rest of the whole thing is that a lot of this, when you first load into this base, talks about making sure to keep the power system fully calibrated. And when you go up here, making sure that the oxygen filter is at 100%, because it goes down the longer I'm physically in here, like you just saw it tick down from 100%. And you got to make sure that all of these systems are properly aligned so that if you do get attacked by anything, your ship doesn't go down, you don't have to drag it away and repair it again like you do when you first find it. Because we got oxygen systems, we got power systems, we've got a tractor beam downstairs that you have to pay attention to. And you also have to pay attention to your power for your speed of your engine, keeping track of obstacles using this radar system, and paying attention to where all of your crew is on board the ship using this VR, sort of hologram here that's next to the cockpit. And another clue that I have that this might be a multi-person to be perfectly optimal sort of setup is that as one person, you're never going to leave this cockpit because you can use this station right here in order to hot swap between all of the different stations on the ship. So you can potentially control the tractor beam station from here, recalibrate power, recalibrate the antenna, which is on the roof, because there's also a scanner alignment up there. There's a lot going on this ship, and it's certainly a lot more than one person would want to comfortably handle, especially not when you can have up to 4 people in a game together at the same time before you do things like add mods to add like 50 people in here, which eventually I kind of might want to try just because that sounds hilarious. Although I was going to try, just for the fun of it, to try to make it seem like I could set up a temporary crew. But every time I try to drop fish in here, they shoot off in a random direction. Like this water slug shot up through the roof. And now I can't reach him any longer. But yeah, I feel like this is all working together to be a unified mining operation, which would allow you to get large volumes of materials, just like when you had to repair the giant power plant, which required, you know, like 20, 30 different blocks of ore, different ingots in order to repair it, plus some other stuff. So that's just sort of my working theory as to what all this stuff is leading up to. I could be completely wrong. Half of this stuff might not even make it into the game, because this is all just, you know, guesswork. This all might have been tested and discarded long before it ever went into early access, and it's just still there because someone hasn't gotten around to hitting the delete key yet on the team. Hard to say, but it's kind of fun to, in my opinion, to speculate on what this stuff might be used for as we go along, as I've been kind of spawning this stuff in to see what's going on. So that'll be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I've been your host, Larry. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Bye, everybody, and have a good one.